Let's test this out. Make sure we've got sound. Hey friends, welcome to the Book Diva, because I'm sure that most of you are new here. But by perchance, if this is not your first time here and you've returned, first of all, I am very thankful that you have returned and welcome back to my channel. Okay, so I'm not really a Swiftie, but I really do greatly admire Taylor Swift because she's really, I know that she's like a celebrity and it's part of the job description to be in your personal power, but she's so comfortable in her personal power. And she just has this fearlessness to say things and to communicate things in her songs that most other artists or people would not dare to say. And I really align with her because she's also a Scorpio rising just like me. I think I'm just low-key gonna make this channel about me being a Scorpio rising. I think that's the direction where this channel is headed. It's just me making astrology references. If you want this to turn into an astrology channel, let me know in the comments because I'm gonna get certified to be an astrologer. And if that is something that you're into, if you think that astrology content would appeal to you, don't hesitate to tell me you'd like that. Especially really like listening to Taylor Swift in the warmer months like the spring and summer. I don't know. So there's something just so Taylor Swiftness about spring and the summer. I don't know if there's a scientific reason for that. So that goes without saying, I've been listening to a lot of Taylor Swift lately. It's just so perfect that she has just recently come out with a new album, The Tortured. I always want to say the Dead Poets Society, but I know that that's not what it is. Anytime I hear like something poet, like the plural poets, I just always want to say Dead Poets Society. Like my brain just instantly attaches it to the Dead Poets Society, even though when I consciously know that not everything is attached to Dead Poets Society, but Tortured Poets Department. Now, I don't know. Alexa, how many albums has Taylor Swift released?
By Taylor Swift, including Lover, which was released on August 25th, 2014. Folklore, which was released on July 25th.
Okay, hush. Hush! Shut up! Tortured Poets Department is her 19th album. I think I just haven't been that much of a fan of her recent music. I really liked Anti-Hero and Lavender Haze, and that's really the only two songs that I really like. The two most recent Taylor Swift songs that I've really liked thus far. I feel like her music these days is just cornering a little too much on Lana Del Rey, and I just don't get the hype over Lana Del Rey. Just cannot get into her. I mean, I've tried, and I really like her song Summertime Sadness, her most popular song. I just really do not get the appeal, people. I don't. It's just because I'm more of a Mariah Carey girl. Not only is she my favorite singer and diva, but she is my style icon. But if you're a Lana Del Rey fan, get in the comments and tell me what songs, as a Mariah Carey stan, I should listen to. Back to Taylor Swift and Tortured Poets Department. I listened to Tortured Poets Department over the weekend. In this video, I'm gonna list all of the most tortured poety songs on Tortured Poets Department. I can't play the music on here because of freaking copyright. So I would highly recommend that you go and listen to the album first on like Spotify or something. If you have listened to it already, great. Keep playing the video. Let's talk about it. Hang with me while I describe this. Tortured Poet it's a personality trait. Okay? Anybody who is artistic and has suffered from depression, which I don't know anybody who has suffered from one without the other, myself included. So if that is you too, you're gonna understand, and you may or may not agree with them based on your own level of tortured poetiness. Anyway, I forgot some of these lyrics. I need to pull them up on my phone. So Fortnite is the song that she did with Post Malone. There's half of a verse on here that really, when I listened to it the first time, it made me laugh out loud. And it goes, "Now you're in my backyard, turned into good neighbors. Your wife waters flowers. I want to kill her. Also, why did you move next door to me? I don't think you're over me yet. Other portion in the song where she says repeatedly, I love you, it's ruining my life. I'm just like, yeah, that's happened every time I've tried to love someone. Every time you love someone, it ruins your life. And if you're a tortured poet, you know what I'm talking about. So the next song that I found very tortured poety, I cannot keep adding all of my burps in here. I'm gonna have to edit some of them out. So my boy only breaks his favorite toys, at least in my eyes. This is how me as a tortured poet interpreted the piece. She's speaking from the perspective of a girl who's just pining for that fairy tale love, only to find out that the fairy tale is not conducive to a long-term commitment. I don't know about you personally, but I don't know of any tortured poet that ever had a long-term commitment. I mean, no hate, of course, no hate. Most of the time, the idea of love and being in a relationship is better than actually being in a romantic, loving relationship, at least a real one. So that's how I take it. And if you don't, I'm sorry. So of course we have So Long London. The first thought that I had in my mind after listening to this was, okay, now is this about Joe Alwyn or Harry Styles? Who's the muse here? You can decide for yourself which Brexit she's talking about, but personally, I'm gonna go with Joe Alwyn because that's her most recent Brexit. So this next one is called The Daddy I Love Him. I can't read those words without thinking about that line in The Little Mermaid where she's like, Daddy, I love him. Miss Tay-Tay here is literally describing the experience of growing up in a small southern town through the eyes of a high schooler who's been impregnated by her boyfriend that she wants to marry, but her family, particularly her father, doesn't approve of. I mean, that would turn anyone into a tortured poet. But I gotta say, it's kind of a catchy song. I mean, it's not fast, but it's got like a really catchy tune to it. So I liked it. And I related so hard to the growing up in a southern town portion of the song, not everything else. If you grew up in the South, you know that she's talking about the South or a small town, whichever way you want to prefer it. Sometimes I think that growing up in the South and growing up in a small town, whether or not that small town is in the South or not, there's some overlapping similarities. I have friends who have grown up in small towns outside of the southern United States, and they always seem to have like similar experiences to mine growing up. Even though I didn't grow up in a like small town, I still grew up in the South. I just think it's kind of funny that way. It was so funny, I messed up the camera angle. So next we've got a song called Who's Afraid of Little Ol' Me? Well, you should be. You should be afraid of me. Listening to it, it was such a power anthem for me. I've always been told, and I'm blaming it on my Scorpio rising again. I blame everything on my Scorpio rising, but it's the rising sign. Like everything that you see, it's the first impression. If you want astrology videos, I can make them, and I can go more into detail about those kind of things. But we gotta focus on tortured poets here. I've always been told that I'm very intimidating, that I'm kind of scary on first impression. I mean, it's true. I came to play no games. It's protected me from a lot of potential harm that could have potentially made its way to my life at some point. I've embraced it. I've embraced the intimidation vibes that I've given off. Next, she has a song called I Can Fix Him. So I didn't really like this one, but it was so tortured poety that it just needed to be included. And then there's a song called I Can Do It With a Broken Heart. That's another power anthem for me as well. For a lot of tortured poets, like you really can do it with a broken heart. Even if it takes 2 cups of coffee and a little bit of sorry, my camera battery cut off. Such a rude bitch, Camilla. So yeah, us tortured poets, we can do it with a broken heart. So you just keep trucking or carring or bicycling or however it is you get around, you tortured poets, you out there. Last track that really stood out to me was called The Alchemy. Now, I didn't really like any other parts of that song besides the, where she's like, what does she say? Something like, how can you fight the alchemy or something? Da, 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 of the alchemy, or If YouTube didn't have fucking strict copyright rules, I would play it to you. But you'll just have to listen to it for yourself on your own time. Cause yeah, tortured poets do not fight the alchemy. It is a science, so it can't be stopped even if you tried. A tortured poet's sweetest dream and worst nightmare is the alchemy. Tay-Tay made that clear in Blank Space. Listen to the tortured poet queen, 'cause she knows what she's talking about. Okay, so I think I covered everything for today. If you liked this video, make sure that you leave a comment down below, and also, most very important part,
subscribe!
You know what's gonna happen when I get 500 subscribers? You know what's gonna happen? I'm gonna take all of the books that I have read that are on my bookshelf in there in my walk-in closet, and learn to talk. And I'm gonna take them to a local nonprofit here in my hometown of Nashville, Tennessee. I don't know which one yet because I have to get 500 subscribers first. So in order to make that happen, for real, you have to pay it forward and click the subscribe button. That is so easy. You don't have to pay anything. All you have to do is just bing, and it'll notify you every time that I upload. Did you know I could do that? Did you know I could do that? Okay, really do not want my camera battery to run out again, so I gotta go and turn this off. Bleh.